Alright, this is the next locomotive up for sale on the DAV&P. This is number 7. This was the railroad's #1 engine, the go-to, the one that did all the work, my favorite. She has a headlight in the front, which is directional. It goes off when going in reverse. Sadly, the tender's headlight no longer works. Her front truck has been modified like all my engines. The coupler, regular Bachman knuckle coupler, has been installed on the pilot, not on the drawbar. And the drawbar is trimmed to allow it to float back and forth on the curves. This way you can pull and push cars on a sharp curve. Some weights have been added underneath the pilot truck to keep it on the track. This is the Spectrum Anniversary version with the metal drive gear. The weathering you see here is paint plus dirt and dust from the basement. We have an engineer who has been faithfully watching the locomotive for years, and the fireman who is shoveling coal. And the coal, by the way, is real coal that's glued in there real good. We also have the brakeman riding back there. We'll take another look at him in a minute. As we scoot down, we have a nicely detailed cab interior, the back head of the boiler. We have electrical pickups were added to the trucks, and one of these connections is for the speaker, one is for power, and one was for the headlight. There's 3 connections all in all. What I don't know is which one went bad for the headlight. Now, the sound is a DCC chip on its own, mounted in the tender. And the DCC that drives the locomotive is mounted here in the boiler. The boiler has a Digitraxx, like 3 or 4 amp decoder in it, whereas the tender has a MRC sound only and a large speaker. And the speaker is actually turned down. She's pretty loud. No doubt about that. Okay, looking at the back of the tender, there's marked as number 7. There are various tools on the tender. Take an overall look. She's in pretty good shape. This engine has served on a point-to-point railroad. That means she didn't have constant running in a loop. So what hours she has on her, which I don't know, have not been constant running. Love that brass bell. But she has all the details that the anniversary engines had. Kind of hard to see, it's dark down here. But it's in pretty good shape. It runs real nice. I'm happy with it, especially for being down here in the basement. And the reason, you might ask, why am I selling this beautiful locomotive? Well, I had to dismantle my layout. As you can see, it's lying in ruins. And here's the reason why. Basement walls decided it was going to give up on us. So I had to dismantle the G-scale so the contractors could get to it. And now I'm going to sell it off and just stick with my HO. Now, while I'm operating the locomotive, please remember that I'm using an MRC system, but I do not have the 8 amp booster on it. So the engine isn't really in sync with the speed chuffs. When I had the 8 amp booster down here, it worked great, but I wasn't going to tear that off the layout. I just brought down one controller. So we'll see what we're going to do here. Alright, so we're going to put it in reverse, blow our whistle here. And away we shall go. Put her in forward. Now sadly I can't get her up to speed because the layout ends here. But she's a beautiful runner. Again, she was run on a point-to-point railroad, so she doesn't have the hours that a engine like this would have on her if she did loops or circles. And she hasn't been outside, although this basement might as well qualify for being outside. So, if you're interested in this locomotive, either email me or look her up on eBay under Kirstine123.